Check. Hello. I wasn't quite ready. Check. Are you ready?
Check. Can you turn me up a little bit? What's up?
Check. What's
up,
the
Facebook?
volume?
What's up, She Experienced? Hello,
It's
yeah, a little
talk.
bit. Hello, check. Nothing
I'm
sounds
not turning you. It's because you got weird headphones on.
Okay.
Don't weird out about it.
No, that's fine.
Good morning. Are we
Good
ready?
morning. Yeah, I think so.
Our things are not balanced here.
Okay, I see.
It ain't my fault that I'm out here getting loose. Gotta blame it on my juice, baby.
Your green juice?
My green juice.
Smoothie juice?
Why can't I get these to line up?
I'm not sure. All right, what's up,
Tarot cards.
Topher, Coach Superman, everybody.
It ain't my
Dance.
fault.
Kelly Hunt.
Okay.
No, distanced to dance. Destined to dance.
I'm destined to dance.
Me too. Okay, so you guys are witnessing the before the show. So thanks for joining us on Instagram and Facebook. If you're on Instagram and you have an awesome question, I would like for you to join us on Instagram Live, and you get a free workbook. So
That's right.
yes, I love the energy this morning. Yep.
Me too. Okay, are we ready
The
to
green
rock and roll?
juice. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm ready.
here we go. Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Marriage Radio. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
What's up, my friends? My name is Seth Studley. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and welcome. We are so glad that you were here with us on Monday morning.
As always, our show is brought to you by Get Your Marriage On, the couples counseling app that's fast, fun, and never boring. And y'all, we created it. Go to getyourmarriageon.com or anatomyofmarriage.com to get the app today, or in the App Store. It is amazing.
That's right. You'll thank us later. It's a lot of fun.
Or you thank us now.
Yeah, just thank us now. Throw up a heart or a like. And every morning on our series, we do 4 things. We pray, we share gratitude, we share an intention, and we do questions from the app, Conversation Starters. So I'm going to pray.
Well, let me say really quick, we are live on Facebook and Instagram right now, so you're going to hear us talking to our peeps whilst we do this. But we also encourage you to do these things together, so Seth's going to start with prayer. We encourage you to pray with your spiznouse.
Yeah, or yourself if you don't have a spiznouse. Thank you, God, for your blessings. Thank you for the sun and the rain yesterday. I pray that this week is intentional, that you protect us spiritually and physically. Thank you for all the things that you've done for us, and I pray that it is helpful for our listeners and also helpful for us. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Good prayer.
Thanks. I'm thankful that small things, right? Small things matter. Small things added up make the big things, and I'm thankful.
Juan says, why is our thing done? Okay,
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
I am thankful that you organize all of our books in our little library thing. If I can see a book, then I'm more apt to reread it and go back and use it for reference to create content for the show and just for us to talk about. So I'm thankful for that small thing, but it matters.
You are welcome. We are doing gratitudes right now, so we, again, encourage you to do them with your partner. A specific thing you're thankful for today or yesterday that happened. So one of the things I'm thankful for is that yesterday you were teaching the boys how to mow the lawn on the riding lawnmower, and it was so funny. On Patrick, that's the name of our riding lawnmower. I named him Patrick, and his trailer is Patrick Jr. But you are teaching the kids how to do the lawn mowing, and we have a very large yard, and it was just so cute because you had 2 sticks, and you were like directing them like a flight traffic person.
Yeah, I felt like I was on the runway with those orange sticks.
Little wands.
Like, you gotta follow it here, follow this line. So,
it was just really cute to see you out there, and I'm really excited because it's an opportunity for the kids to earn money. It's sort of tangible; they can see it. And it's just exciting, and I'm very thankful for the way you taught them. Like the energy you brought was really, really fun. Let's see.
Okay, I work and my husband works, and he gets frustrated when laundry builds up. Should I honor him by just doing what he asks? Am I making this a power struggle? I think he should help.
Oh, I think you should help too.
Yeah, I definitely think you should help. Sometimes we don't have time to help, and I want to slow that down and say, hey, I can get to this, but I've been doing other things all day.
I'm gonna put the dog outside. He's just singing down here, so keep on talking.
He is singing. The main thing is don't let something small like laundry, which sometimes is not small because it can pile up and Mount Vesuvius of laundry. Don't let that make a wedge in between you guys. Don't make it be a power struggle thing. You can use the clearing structure. You can get it at anatomyofmarriage.com.
Or it's in our app. The clearing structure is in Get Your Marriage On, the app. So get it there. It's better. It's the one you can actually work in. But what I would say about this is change how you do laundry. I know that sounds silly, but years ago when I started listening to Joyce Meyer, I would watch. So she had a show, like a TV show, and I would always fold laundry while I watched her show because it made folding laundry enjoyable, right? So make it easier. Make it easier on yourself. I think people make stupid stuff like doing the dishes and folding laundry harder than it should be. You are giving me a look. What's the look about?
No, I believe that it's right.
Yeah.
I listen to podcasts while I commute. Sometimes it's boring to commute. When I cut the grass, now the boys do it, so that's great.
Right.
But when I cut the grass, when I do anything that isn't as preferable as I would rather be doing something else. Let's make it better.
Yeah, or
listen to a show, listen to a book.
Yeah, and make it another thing you can do to help make laundry more fun is to make it a race. Like, don't do it poorly, but turn on your favorite song, like anything from Trolls soundtrack.
A race?
Like, yeah, do it just as fast as you can. Like, race against the clock to get the laundry done. Like, imagine someone is coming to your house and you're like, I don't want them to see my Mount Vesuvius of laundry. And so you set on a song that you love that gives you the jazz, and you start folding your laundry as fast as you can, and you get it done. Your spouse can be a part of that if you invite them to a new opportunity, but not if you scold them and say, you never do laundry, you this, you that, you suck, I'm great, you're dumb, you're dumb. Don't do that. It won't work.
Use the clearing structure. So we're going to go to intentions.
Yes, our
what
intentions.
What are your intentions today?
My intentions are, I'm hopefully we are getting our bracelets today.
I
ordered something like 800 or 200 of those like bracelets you get when you go to a show.
Right.
And we're gonna write our intentions for the day on them. I'm excited about that because our paper bracelets kept falling off. But my intentions are to fill this day with joy and love and like a physical outpouring of the happiness I feel inside.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I will reciprocate that and be present to feel awesome.
Great.
With you.
That's your intention, is to reciprocate my intention?
To meet it and to be present and go, you're trying it, I'm trying it, yeah.
What are you going to bring, though? You're only telling me you're going to reflect off of what I'm bringing. I ain't digging that.
I'm going to bring it back.
No, bring something.
I'm going to bring it too.
Bring something new.
Oh my goodness.
Bring a different thing.
I will bring it. I'm going to bring that.
What's it? Oh my gosh.
You guys. What's up,
Anyway,
Nall? I'm good.
Now I'm mad.
Well, you can be mad all you want. I'm not going to reciprocate that.
You said you were going to bring it.
Okay, so on to the festival bracelets for the pigs. Awesome.
Right.
Yep.
And we're going to
Exactly.
try to get them printed like with our pig's logo on it.
And maybe even have them for sale. So.
I know. Isn't that, it's so fun. I'm super excited about it, but I just bought like the Dookie ones on Amazon. I mean, they're not Dookie. They're great on Amazon, but they should be coming today. I'm so excited. So, anyway.
All right, on to the question. Would you like to read this question?
Yes.
Okay.
So this question was sent in to us at hello@anatomyofmarriage.com. You can always send your questions in. We always make them anonymous, even if you don't want us to. We are going to do that. We always also edit them to make sure they're ultra anonymous.
That's right. So somebody says, do you check to see if you met your intentions? My wife says intentions without actions are not good. Exactly right. So there's this other saying that I love, and it's from Pirelli, I think, tires, that power without control is nothing.
Pirelli tires?
Something, I don't know.
A tire company has a
like
quote of the day?
Yeah, I'm serious. Power without control is nothing, right? I can have a jet engine strapped to my back, but if I don't have wings...
Power without control sounds like a big hot accident to me.
Exactly.
It's not nothing. It's a lot of something bad.
Exactly. So you can have the biggest engine in your car ever, but if your tires are doo-doo tires, you're going to spin in the ditch, you know? So that is very good, and I will be honest with you, no, we don't do those. Ryan Mickler of the Order of Man podcast, if you haven't checked that out, you absolutely should if you're a dude. He has this thing called After Action Review.
Ladies can listen to.
Of course, ladies can listen to it, but it's from the Army. It's an After Action Review. You plan, you execute, you do something, and then you go back and go, okay, how did that work? What went right? What went wrong? And we don't have AARs, After Action Reviews, on stuff. So you know what? Yeah, sometimes Melanie says, yeah, I'm going to be physical and touch you all day. And I'm like, in the end of the day, it's like, wait a minute, you didn't even look at me all day. What happened? But then there's...
That does not happen where I don't look at you all
that
day.
doesn't happen. I bring the drama, so...
You do bring a lot of drama.
And,
but I think...
and the same thing, like, oh, I'm gonna be present or whatever, and I find myself checking out, right?
I think that's a great idea,
Excellent.
and I'm so glad that you brought it up. What we should call... Because our son always wants to do this, actually. Our son wants to do pigs at night. And we're like,
Mariner?
Yeah, I'm like, the day is over, sweetie. But we still do like the gratitude and prayer stuff. But he always wants to do it at the night. But so I think what we should do is call him pigtails. It's the end of
that is good.
It's our pigtails. And see how we did.
Or you could do pigs after dark. Or something.
Right, like late night
pigtails
bacon.
Oh, gosh.
That sounded really... funny. But pigtails
You're
is
so cute when you
so
like
funny.
really.
Oh, good.
Laugh like
I hope
that.
that you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad that you brought that up. I
Yeah.
think we should do pigtails. It would be the funniest thing ever. Because Mariner
cracked yourself
always
up.
wants to do them. He always wants to do them. So thank you for
All right,
bringing
that's
that up.
good. Thank you for that.
And if you are listening to the podcast and you don't know what pigs are, or if you're watching and you don't know what pigs are, so we do pigs with our kids, and that's our daily intention. So it's prayer, intentions, gratitudes, and goals. That's what pigs stands for. And we do it every morning while the kids eat breakfast. So we get up before them. So they're eating breakfast while we are standing there cooking it.
That's right.
And so we do our pigs with them, and yeah, so that's now we're gonna do our pigtails.
That's awesome.
We'll have to set a pigtail alarm.
Thank you, Rob, for that. Okay, go for the question.
So it says, my Christian boyfriend is looking at porn and I don't know what to do. I found out that 3 months ago my boyfriend is looking at porn to relieve stress. He didn't do it many times. He feels awful. I feel awful. Darkness brings deception, and now it's just difficult. I'm so grateful that he told me. I know being mad at him does no good, so I feel
Like I am handling things well.
I'm doing fine with everything. It's just very difficult looking back and seeing all the signs and not realizing it sooner. We're choosing to remain celibate, and I think that is what makes this hardest on me. I feel like I'm not enough and that he's not truly pure like I want him to be. He feels like I'm too good for him. It's just this merry-go-round of hurt, disappointment, and frustration. I asked him if he had spoken to a therapist, and he said yes. And she told him it's normal for men around 18 to 26 just to continue to redirect your thoughts. That is very discouraging to hear. I would appreciate your input on what you both would recommend we do during this time. Thank you very much. You are both such a gift from God, and I'm so grateful for the resources that you bring to the world as far as a healthy marriage and family and relationships go.
First of all, you're welcome. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sending in the question. What's up, T? What's up, Kenan? What's up, Mama?
Keep
Laps?
talking.
Okay, sorry. And thank you for this question. I'll be honest, as a therapist, and I know you have some notes over here, but I want to respond to it of what literally came up for me the first time I read this question. There are a lot of oh, wait a minute, I think that you're holding on to something too hard and actually not seeing the whole forest for the trees here. And the two things here, let's see, I feel like I'm not enough and that he's not truly pure like I want him to be. That one is honestly kind of a yikes thing. It's like, okay.
That's the first thing on my list.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, pure. What are we expecting here out of other people or yourself or things? And if you say, well, I'm expecting that, yeah, I don't. Porn's not. It's not. It distorts our view of what can be, of what is real, right? So it's like truly pure. What do you mean? Are you expecting yourself to be a perfect person, and are you expecting the person that you marry to be a perfect person? Because neither one of you are, and you're setting yourself up for disappointment and just a whole world of stuff. And then, as a therapist, I would say the exact same thing. It's like 18 to 26, are you kidding? You're a ball of hormones, a guy.
A hormone ball.
Right, and yes, this is actually very normal. Developmentally normal, biologically
He's not
normal.
saying looking at porn is normal.
Yeah,
but
I'm not saying that, but the
part
sex
of it.
drive is absolutely normal. And you said, oh, well, that's discouraging that the therapist said that. And oftentimes, clients come to me where a partner, a married couple come to me, and they say, yeah, she's this and she's that. And I'm like, yeah, what's the big deal? That's normal. And then I'm not saying what the other partner
wants to hear
or wants me to say, and then that kind of causes a rift between that, which you have to work through and stuff. But those two things are like, okay, let's slow down and kind of get some earthly education here and not be so naive.
Yeah.
So
good morning, Patricia.
Patricia.
We love you too. So one of the things, the very first thing that popped into my head with this, and I think this question comes from a very, honest and good-natured, I want to do the right thing place. So yes. I want to acknowledge that first, that we're not saying this is a dumb question, you're blah, blah, blah. Not at all, not at all, not at all. So I want to address that first. But one of the things that first popped up to my mind is that purity is not the highest sexual virtue that one can attain, right? So I would rather have a pilot who's flying my airplane know, at least on a minute level, how to fly through all types of weather. Not only clean, breezeless, perfect, no rain, no clouds, pure weather. Right. I don't want a pure weather only pilot.
Right.
I want a pilot who at least has understanding of biological, like biopsychosocial, spiritual, all of those things.
Yeah.
And so I don't want you to think that purity is the highest sexual virtue. It really, really isn't. And I really suggest reading Sex, God, and the Conservative Church. You can get that on Amazon. We have a link on our Facebook page, but it's by Dr. Tina Shermer Sellers, who we had on last Wednesday, who is just a rock star in this space. And I mean, I'm reading the book right now, and it is an actual textbook. But it's an amazing, easy read. She's very, very clear, and she unpacks this idea of purity as being like the highest form of sexual virtue. It's not.
What you lose in that is connection and pleasure and relationship and even that spiritual connection, right?
Oh, for sure.
And do not get this confused, which we are not saying like, oh yeah, go look at, people who aren't your wife or your husband or anything like that. We're not saying that. We're saying, you know what? Christian culture especially has put such an emphasis on like, do whatever you can, but don't look at porn.
Or think about sex.
Right. Yeah. Or you're not pure. Or
if you think of a woman, you've already cheated on her in your mind or whatever. Like, that's not helpful.
Right. So it's like this. Oh, you know what? The best thing in my life is to get a job and make $100,000 a year. That is the best thing. My parents want to do it. My wife wants me to do it. That's all I'm going to do. And I don't care how I get there. Right? Kind of thing. Well, wait a minute. I'm in a job that's terrible. I'm not connecting with anybody. I find no pleasure in it, but at least I made $100,000. It's like I've thrown away so many other things. I'm not even seeing what is right in front of me. Okay, sure, nobody's perfect, right? Focus on the connection piece more between you and your partner. I don't know, I got kind of lost, so I'm going to go back to what you're saying there.
One of the things that I also, if you're watching, I know Shilpa, I'm so excited that you're here.
You're my friend.
So it says, 20 years into my sex journey and I'm still climbing out of the purity culture mud. Yes, I was just going to say, if this is something you've experienced, please comment here so that we can share what people who have walked through this have experienced and feel. It's different in our relationship. I didn't become a Christian until I was 19, and I had done a lot of living before that. So we have a different experience with it and can't talk to it.
Hold on, Serena says, Sex, Jesus, and the Conversation the Church Forgot to Have. That's a book.
Oh.
I've never heard that.
That sounds really cool.
That's pretty good.
That sounds really cool.
Okay.
So, knowledge of healthy sexuality and how healthy sexuality interacts with grace, love, kindness, and intimacy is a much more useful investment and has a better return for your marriage in the long run than simply going after purity. Ooh, there's more comments here.
All right, okay, man. It sounds like it's tied in with years of purity culture teachings to ask her this question. You aren't alone being taught those things. Start with grace and understanding for yourself and your partner. Absolutely. You aren't alone. We think that we're alone in so many places, like, oh my goodness, nobody else is. Guess what? Everybody else is like that. And that's why Brene Brown is so freaking popular, because she leads with vulnerability. And we try to lead with vulnerability too, to let other people know, hey, we're normalizing this thing. It isn't the most outrageous thing in the world or that we've ever heard of. Let's put it out there, and chances are 80% of other people are going to be like, yeah, me too, man. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And so in the notes that I took, it's like a better use of your energy instead of focusing on, he's pure, not pure, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever, is I would honestly read Sex, God, and the Conservative Church. We'll look into that other book too, Jesus and the Conversation the Church Forgot to Have. That sounds amazing, or whatever. I just butchered the name of it. But learning about the elements that you and your boyfriend are missing, and like, it's so hard to explain because the book says everything that I'm trying to say, but it's too hard to like put it into one sentence.
It's very dense and concise. Somebody says, I had no idea purity culture was a thing until you two smarties shined a light on it. I didn't realize why I was not finding the connection with my husband that should have been there. So thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We didn't come up with that term, that's for sure. We just have learned about it.
But now I feel good. I'm a smarty.
Serena says, and porn is a symptom. So what's the underlying issue, and what are different tools to take care of it? Absolutely.
Yes. So
absolutely. So there's this quote by a guy that his name is Gabor Mate. He's an addiction specialist.
Chai latte?
No.
Keep on. He's an addiction specialist. Chai latte said.
He talks about being addicted to things is always like getting just enough. You know what I mean? It's like I'm always almost there to the top of the thing, but substances, pornography, alcohol, shopping, workaholic, it never gets you there. So absolutely, it's just a symptom. It is only a symptom of some other shame, of some other hurt, of some other like feeling like there's not enough. But right. So that's a perfect point.
And I will say...
So somebody says, but you were saying not to strive for purity or just not to make it the only goal of a person's life. The purity conversation should be accompanied by a paradigm shift.
Yes. So only strive... So I'm not done with my notes, and it will address that.
Hold on, answer that question there.
Yeah, I am. So only striving for purity is like saying... So we've talked about this in the past. Biopsychosocial spiritual model of humans. We have a biological side, a psychological side, a spiritual side, and a social side. So we are complex beings, right? In purity culture, specifically church purity culture, they have removed the biological side of sex and the spiritual side. It is, well, let me say that another way. They have only made it spiritual in the sense that sex is bad, right? Sex is not spiritually good. Have you ever heard that in the church? Have you ever heard that your biological urges to reproduce and have babies is good? Have you heard that?
Or put there by God, even?
Like if it wasn't, we wouldn't have humans.
Where did we get it?
Where did we get this urge to have sex? Where did we get this urge to be, like, to literally want to look at our partner and touch them and be with them in the closest, most intimate way possible? We got that from God. So saying that it's sinful, just like blanket statement, all of it is sinful, is very damaging. So when we take away all of the sort of biopsychosocial spiritual model and we say, oh, it's only this and it's bad, we are doing ourselves a huge disservice. Does that make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes, it makes very much sense. And like Dr. Corey
says,
Song
of Solomon,
sex is gross, it's nasty, don't do it ever. Oh,
save
it for the person you love? Okay, so... How messed up is that if we think, oh, we're supposed to be pure, oh, he did something that's not, now if I mess with him, I'm not pure, but then when we get married, that all goes away. It's just a really mind blowing kind of concept that's like doesn't make sense.
And the thing that I think of as I read Dr. Tina's book is she talks about this idea that we are so afraid of sexuality in the church. We're so terrified to talk about it. I mean, think about how much you don't hear about healthy sexuality in your church. You never hear about it. And you usually only hear about it from men. So it's not addressing the whole, it's not, right? It's not. We're not hearing it. It's not. And the thing that's amazing to me, or sadly amazing, is that we don't learn anything about the complexity of it, but we learn about the complexity of all sorts of other things. Driving a car, fixing a car, financial institutions, how money works, biblical theology, or the history of the Bible. Like, learn about the history of sex in the Bible. It's in there all over, but our churches mute it. They dampen it. They make it only about fear. But if we can start learning the good parts about it, like even the I have it written in here, it says sexual desire is a biological truth, and when it is focused on good things, like raising a family and protecting your wife, it is what we all want. When it's focused on harmful things like porn and using women with no regard to their humanity, it harms us all, right? We all have this innate, it's the humanness within us. It's what makes us people and makes more people. And when we honor it, we all win. When we don't honor it, we all lose. When we have sex that's bad, when sex is like I'm objectifying you to get when I don't look at it as a holistic experience, if it's just me, what I want, what I think, what I feel, and it's not what we want, what we think, what we feel. If you're having sex with strangers, if you're having sex on an app, like you're just like hooking up all the time, you're not honoring what sex is. You're honoring the biological part of a human, but not the spiritual, not the emotional.
You're leaving stuff on the table. It's, like the true emotional piece, right?
I agree.
Let's see. Somebody says, be fruitful and multiply. Yeah, for sure. But that only focuses on one aspect of connection.
And I just think of the idea of like, the biological elements, and we are speaking very much from a gender typical, or like a gender, what am I saying? We are speaking about heterosexual relationships.
Oh, right.
From our perspective. So don't get mad at me when I'm not talking about your perspective. But in our perspective, there is nothing more rewarding to my spirit than to see Seth's biopsychosocial spiritual like manness play itself out in the elaborate like portrait painting of what he can be as a man, right? So that means I use the Ryan Mickler. Oh, right. I'm going to use the Ryan. So Ryan Mickler, the guy from Order of Man, posted a picture today. And I showed it to Seth. I said, this is the most like attractive manly thing I can think of. The picture was him walking through the woods holding his like 3-year-old son's hand with an axe in the other hand.
Yeah, and the sun was
and the sun is like this. Right. The forest is beautiful. And I'm like, that is an expression. And I know this sounds weird because it has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with what it sounds like this question is addressing. But that is like a full expression of what maleness is to me. Like he's protecting this little boy. He's holding his hand. He's doing all these things.
It's like the conversation that we had last week about stuff. So is Melanie like lusting after another guy in that photo? No. Definitely not. But what that photo...
Ryan Mickler looks like my brother.
Right. But what that photo encompasses is something that Melanie desires on multiple levels. Protection, like strength, taking care of little kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about like when I... You know, when I said something to you, like you said, hey, you know, it's really attractive when I feel that you can protect and provide for my offspring, for our kids, you know? And then, like, I think I was actually holding an axe or something like that.
No, you were washing the dishes.
Oh, I was washing the dishes.
And I said, what are you thinking about? And you're like, oh, you know, babies and
just
protecting
babies
them.
And protecting and, you know, continuing the line of babies to just...
Providing.
Right, and Melanie's, like, over. He started, like, you know, humming, you know.
He started salsa dancing.
Yeah, salsa dancing. And it's like that aspect. And that is what she's attracted to. And it is the same thing. Like, if I saw a picture of something that just encompassed, that sounds weird.
Encompassed?
Like, what a woman is to me. Not like just any rando, but like, okay.
And we're not saying what a woman is. Boobs and butts.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. But like, softness and like curves even nurturing like that, and like it wasn't Melanie and I thought of like a curve on a person. I don't know, does that destroy you? Is that like craziness?
No, but it used to.
It used to.
Man,
right?
I used to get so mad. So I'm talking about this from direct experience. I used to like flip my mind, my lid, my brain would like explode. I would get so mad at Seth about this kind of stuff all the time. So I know what you're talking about. I know what you're going through and what you're feeling. But think about what we've just talked about, the complexity of like appreciating your partner in their biopsychosocial spiritual realmness, their way of being a protective man, a protective husband, like a sexual creature that you can enjoy and all this stuff. And then think of contrasting it next to, but I want him to be pure. There should be cricket sounds here because what you want him to be pure, like that's all you're after. You don't want him to like know how to defend you, know how to please you, know how to like stay true to you. Like how about we make our aim much higher and broader?
So what is that? If the church and culture has said, yeah, purity is the absolute pinnacle of whatever. And we're finding out that it may not be. I mean, it still can be.
I'm going to throw some serious shade. The Catholic Church does that, and they have priests who molest children. So it's not a great virtue.
Right.
Not all Catholic priests molest children, but loads of them do. So let's not go there, y'all. But what I have on here is it says, okay, what do we do? So I have stop shaming yourself and your boyfriend and just start learning bravely how to change and heal your sexual misunderstandings, because there are holes in your foundation. Being devoid of a sexual nature is not what you want for him or yourself. This leads to terrible and unfulfilling relationships down the road. It is not even Christian to be ignorant of the incredible power of the God-inspired biological design and to pretend that it does not exist. And one thing I want to talk about too, which is going to sound super woo-woo, but whatever, is the idea of what sex looks like in nature. I mean, our dog just made the weirdest noise. I don't mean what sex looks like outside. I mean what the multiplying looks like in nature. So flowers, things that pollinate. Literally when like bees and how procreation is done in nature, it is beautiful. It's why we love spring, right? It's like literally life. It's life-giving.
Like babies are born, things are growing,
little tiny fuzzy lambs,
right.
and like beautiful, happy. I mean, apart from elk, they do freaky stuff, but they try to kill each other. But like flowers, honeybees, pollen, grass,
so what
like
you're
trees
saying,
opening up.
Right. So God created all that, right? And we are not far removed from nature.
We
and
are
natural.
nature. Don't even say that.
I know, but if I get too deep in it, people kind of wig out and stuff. So we are that, and we think that's beautiful. So why would we think that something that is externalized from ourselves is like, oh, so beautiful and magical, and look at that flower?
We're not separate from that.
That flower and that tree is only thinking about procreating. Are you kidding me? Nature's perverted.
Nature's perverted. I think
I'm
I
just
said
kidding.
that in
I'm just kidding.
like
That is it is totally true. Like your Uncle Gary says things like in the growth in the garden world, things just want to grow.
yeah, everything's just trying
Right?
to grow.
And we just want to grow. Sure. Now nature is very balanced, which we are not balanced, and we can
Yes.
go, oh yeah, porn every day, blah, 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 you know, and just sex all the time. That is not balanced. Anything in the world, sex, food, drugs, alcohol, TV,
Sugar.
work, sugar, anything unbalanced is not going to be healthy.
Australian
right?
Shepherd dog video addiction.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring that up? Weird.
Nice try. You're asking for a friend.
Yes. Yeah, and so I think like in nature, I don't know, I want you to broaden your understanding. We are nature. We're part of it. Like
Right.
we are biopsychosocial spiritual. We are an animal. We just have a really great mind that God gave us. And I don't want us to downplay because we are afraid. I don't want us to downplay because we're not comfortable. So one of the things I want to recommend is, there's actually 2 or 3 things. The first one is you can get a free audiobook from us when you go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage. And I want you to get the audiobook. It is called I Am Enough by Marissa Peer, Marissapeer. I Am Enough. And it says like, mark your mirror, change your life or something. She's from England, so she says funny things. I'm just kidding. But she is she's a hypnotherapist.
What's up,
that
Carrie?
book is amazing and will help you change how you understand how to change. Doesn't
I'm
make
excited
sense
because
now,
I get
but
to
you're-
read it this morning, so you guys can get it free at audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage.
So that, go ahead.
I just want to kind of not completely wrap up, but just give a summary of, you know, when things are in balance in our lives, in balance, not imbalanced, things work.
When things are balanced, things work.
Right. You know, it's always a scale. Am I focusing too much on this? Well, guess what? Then other things are being neglected in my life, in my body, in my spirituality, in my biology, in my relationships. So let's strive for balance in this. And if like, oh, purity is the number one thing ever, guess what? You're going to lose a lot of other things, like lose focus on other things. So let's get it in balance. We want to drop the shame and the things that we're saying. It's okay if everybody doesn't agree with us, but we try to give the most balanced perspective from a therapeutical standpoint.
Therapeutical? Is that a word?
Yeah, therapeutical.
Therapeutic?
Both of those are words.
That's a very funny
This
word.
thing called the Therapeutical Alliance. Where
It's just a
relationship.
hilarious word.
No.
So
from a therapeutic perspective, and also from, we live this stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay? So
we are not saying anything we did not walk through ourselves. And the
Exactamundo.
thing I want to point out, as you were saying that, there's this image that came into my mind is if we build, so think of a table with 4 legs, right? So biopsychosocial spiritual, 4 legs. If we literally only build that table with 1 leg, purity, as the foundation, we can literally only stand in one spot for that table to stand. If we go somewhere to the left or to the right, it's going to fall over, right? It's a ridiculous balancing
it's not going
act.
to work like a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. It doesn't work.
I love that you are Southern. A one-legged man.
In a butt kicking contest. You're not going to win.
Wow. Anyway, that was very funny. So, but I want you to think of that though. The 4 pillars, like biopsychosocial, spiritual, we are these things. So no matter if we like that idea or not, we are these things. And when things are out of balance and we only focus on one, we lose the stability of the foundation of our marriage and our personhood.
That's right. So, question. So, when you two were working through pornography, this was in your marriage, there were what were some things that you wish you'd done differently? So, we weren't really working through that. That was a tiny little symptom that the iceberg, no, the
Well, I mean, we worked through it. Don't worry about that.
It was a super small snowflake that opened everything up and was like, oh, geez, we are crazy and we're out of balance, right?
What I wish I had done differently was I wish I had known myself better. Like I had not, and honestly, I wish that I didn't think anger was a go-to. Like that anger mattered as much as it did. Because I thought, oh, anger's going to change something. If I get angry, if I yell, if I scream, if I tell him he's an idiot, if I point out all of his flaws, it will work. Guess what? It doesn't.
Right.
It does not work. Anger is not a motivator to anybody. So if you feel like the desire to shout at your husband or your wife or whoever has done the thing that is bad, anger is not going to motivate them to change, motivate them to go get counseling, anything. It's going to shut them down and be harmful. Be harmful to your relationship. So that's what I wish I had done differently, was stop getting so freaking angry.
And to know yourself. Like, Melanie's actions, good and bad, does not necessarily reflect on me if I'm a good person, if I'm doing the right thing. So you have to know that in yourself, which that's really hard to do, actually.
It's like differentiation.
Yeah, we talk about differentiation on the show where other people and things can happen, but I am me. I know who I am, and Melanie for a long time thought that she knew who she was because she had to be like, I'm the youngest, I'm tough, don't mess with me kind of thing. And I think that was that was one part of our thing. And me, I didn't know who I was either. So know yourself. And this is one thing I want to talk for a good minute on. So throughout that process, it really helped us to get therapy, right? So we've partnered with getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage to literally set yourself up with a licensed counselor. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. You will get hooked up from people throughout a huge, vast network of licensed professionals who have great expertise on anything from addiction to depression to bipolar to anxiety, anything. And it's teletherapy, and it's all HIPAA compliant, and it's completely confidential.
It's real therapy.
It's real therapy. Phone, text, video conferencing. So go, please, to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage to hook yourself up with a therapist. That's what I would say for this lady to do that sent in. Go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage to get a therapist. And I would suggest you did that too, because it helped us.
Yeah.
Big time. Somebody says, and y'all are so the bomb.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So are you. One of the things that I think too in the idea of getting therapy is that one of the things I wish I had done differently was had gone to therapy. I wish I had gone to therapy and because one of the most effective therapists that we went to, was, it was actually the wife of the counselor at our church. I can't think of her name. But she basically kicked my butt, and she was not a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. She had two legs. And she's
a two-legged woman.
She was a two-legged woman at a butt-kicking contest, and she literally was like, hey, Mel, you promised to be with him for better or for worse. This is one of those worst times, remember? And I was like,
what
she just slapped me in the face with the truth.
Right.
And so I would highly suggest, get a therapist, talk to a counselor, go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage. And there's an introduction sort of questionnaire thing that it walks you through. It's amazing. It's what are you dealing with? How long have you been married? Do you have kids? It walks you through all the things. So you're filtering out the therapist you don't want, because y'all, you don't want just any therapist. And you're finding the therapist that you exactly need. And they might live in Ohio. And you might live in Nebraska. Are those the same state?
No, they're not the same state because they do have different names.
I don't even know where either one of those states are. But I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I only know where California and Idaho and Montana are. But anyway, so go to getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage and get a counselor, because if you think that purity is the highest form of sexual knowledge within a marriage, you're going to get burned by that, and that's your lack of knowledge. Right? Again, we love you. I was there. I was exactly there. We love you. But getfaithful.com/anatomy of marriage will help change your mind about all of those things.
That's right. So this is a great question. Obviously, we could talk a long time on it, and this is a big deal. And go to, well, I know we're sending people all over the place, but look up Tina Schermer Sellers. Her book is great. She is great.
We'll have links to it
Look up stuff that she does. So, anything else for today, girlfriend?
I don't know. If you have a question, please send it to anatomyofmarriage.com. Wait. Send it to hello@anatomyofmarriage.com, and we'll get it answered on the show. You can also send your questions in through our app, Get Your Marriage On. In the expert Q&A section, we answer questions from that as well. And as always, we encourage you to get the app, Get Your Marriage On, because it is our teaching tool. It is our tools. All the things we wish were in an app are in that app. So go get that and have an amazing day. I don't think there's anything else that we need to say. We love you guys for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for the hearts. See ya.
Bye.